Okay, thanks. Thanks for having me here. And I guess I'll share a little bit of my experience of what we've been doing. But I guess the exciting journey that we've been on at Jaguar Land Rover as the company has changed many hands, different owners and parents. And I would say the last 5 years has been the most fun, where we can all make a bit of a difference. Going a little bit back, I guess times have changed. Times have changed for us as a company that makes vehicles. But also the technology that we use day to day. So now we've all got smart homes. I've got my Nest thermostat. My house is a little bit more modern than it used to be. And the same's happened with all our vehicles. There's new technology, there's new mechanical technology, and software. Software plays a big part of everything that we do today. And what we need to do is bring that together to create this next experience. At the same time, just as much as our homes and other pieces have changed, we've seen some links in sort of technology as well. So, you can see our old Jaguar E-Type interior there with its traditional switches. We still had switches in the home. We had keys, we had locks, so there was a synergy there. And what I find interesting is now our dashboards are becoming more software-based. And we're hiding the switches. We're making things a bit more contextually sensitive. And I'll come and talk on that a little bit more. But what we've actually seen is, as we've been making inroads in the automotive industry, we're starting seeing some of that actually come back to the home. You can unlock your door remotely. Well, we've been doing that with our cars for a long time now. And you can, control things through touchscreens. Well, we've been doing the same. So it's good to see the synergies come together. But there's some areas that we've actually been working on where we've kind of got the automotive of things, although it's not connected to the internet. And that's probably a good thing in terms of safety and security. But we've had things where on the Land Rover vehicles, we have this terrain response. So the car can automatically sense the surface it's on. So if it's on snow, grass, gravel, and it basically changes its dynamics to make sure it suits it. I mentioned earlier we had keyless entry. But even keyless engine start, where I've just got to have the key inside my pocket, and we use hardware but software to help configure and do all of those things. Garage door openers. Well, that's the whole IoT thing. We've had switches in the vehicle that gives our home link that access. And then we have other things where we've had a bit of fun because we like going off-roading, wade sensing. So we're using sensors around the vehicle to find out how much water there is, and obviously to help and coach our drivers through some of that terrain. But then from our other brand perspective on Jaguar, we've got some of that dynamic aspects. Have fun on the track and other aspects too. And that all links back to the infotainment system, where they're the touch points where the user experiences come from. And that's the important thing for us. We love inventing, we love collaborating, but the user experience has got to be key. But at the same time, as the user experience is key, we can't forget, you can't forget that the fact of driver distraction. You're in charge of a vehicle, you're doing 70 miles an hour on a highway. So just as much you want that great user experience, it can't be something like on an iPhone or on a tablet where your attention is completely taken in with all the UI and the graphics. We want to make sure we keep our drivers' eyes on the road, but give them polite information as they drive along. And over the years, we've actually created a number of touch points, from the overhead console, where you have emergency call or breakdown call, and the vehicle will use its telematics system to help you get a recovery position and give your GPS location. We've got touchscreens. We have dual view touchscreens where you can actually look at the vehicle, control it, and let your passenger watch television. We've then moved into a full TFT cluster, so we can actually reconfigure things that are relevant to you while you're driving, so you don't have to have all these fixed dials. We've then also brought in some of our smartphone technology, so users can bring in smartphones, so we can actually bridge the gap of, let's just say, fast-paced consumer world against the traditional slow world of automotive. Historically, it used to take us 5, 4, or now even 3 years to develop a whole new car. But we need to actually bring those two worlds together. But then when you leave your car, one of the things that we've been doing over the last 18 months is having that link. And it's about that relationship that you have with your car going forwards. Now, in the past, the journey used to begin from the moment that you unlocked the door, got in your vehicle, started the engine, and drive off. Well, we wanted to change that. And what we wanted to use is use internet connectivity and our smartphones to allow you to unlock your vehicle, but also heat your vehicle. So when I wake up in the morning, it's probably not an issue too much here in San Diego, but in the UK, when it's winter, I wake up in the morning, I can take out my smartphone and I can start the engine and have it heated up for me. I can also have my destination fetched from my calendar and sent to the vehicle's navigation system so I can just drive off. By bringing things together, we can actually make our lives a little bit easier, but also have a little bit of fun. What we've basically then launched is our in-control platform, which allows us to bring internet connectivity, use some of the vehicle signals and sensors to remotely activate things. We've also done that with some of our smartphone apps through some of our partners. We make great cars, but we need partners to work with us very closely to unlock those new experiences. We're not going to manufacture or make a home door lock or a home thermostat, but we need to work with the diverse devices in the market to make sure they interconnect. What we also did is bought Apple Watch. Okay, it's a bit of fun, but we brought the integration together so you can have that seamless experience. Another thing we did late last year is we actually worked with a startup company called CloudCar, who basically wanted to bring a new in-vehicle infotainment experience inside the car. It needed to be contextually sensitive, it needed to use voice recognition, and it needed to allow me to talk to my other passengers, but also other drivers to share information. Now, what I'm about to show you is a quick video that basically explores that a little bit more. I obviously couldn't do justice by explaining it, so the video really helps. And what you're going to see in the video is two users, one driving a Jaguar, one driving a Range Rover, and them exchanging some of their music or locations.
Edition.
Coming away from Tuesday's resounding election victory.
Make a left turn onto Highway 208 North. New message from Kate Green. Do you want to read it?
Yes.
Kate Green says, let's meet for sushi instead.
Great, I'll send the location.
Great, I'll send you the location. Is that correct?
Yes. Find sushi.
Do you want Nagoya on MacArthur Boulevard?
Yes.
Navigating to Nagoya on MacArthur Boulevard.
Send location to Kate.
Text location to Kate Green. Is that correct? Okay, sending. John Lewis has sent you a cloud card. John Lewis is on his way to Nagoya Sushi. The address is 1007 MacArthur Boulevard, MOA, NJ. Navigating to Nagoya on MacArthur Boulevard.
Spotify Imagine Dragons.
Now playing Imagine Dragons.
As a child, you would wait and watch from far away. But you are.
Play some jazz.
Do you want jazz songs from Spotify?
No.
Real jazz from SiriusXM.
Yes.
Now playing real jazz from SiriusXM.
Now, hopefully you can see what we've done there is change the way that you use an IVI system or in-vehicle infotainment system in the car to give you the context. Now, if I was to do that in a traditional way, I've had too many menus, I've had so many layers, and it makes things difficult. For us, that really gives us the platform for us to build on. We can use the cloud servers, the cloud computing to bring in additional services. The key things that we touched upon so far was go, talk, and play, the things that you would do in the vehicle. What we now want to do is take that to the next step, and maybe IoT can link into it. So when I'm on my way home, I've got an elegant arrival. As I drive home, the lights go on, the garage door opens, the heating's on. I didn't press a button, that zero UI approach. And when I leave my house, I have the same elegant departure. The house shuts down, the doors lock, and I don't have to worry about it again. In addition, some of the other things that we're doing, both in our research departments, but also some of the other engineering areas, we've got a plethora of sensors in the car that we can actually make contextually sensitive services and apps. Now today, we've been busy developing our advanced driver systems, forward-looking cameras, radar sensors, which obviously allow you to give you blind spot monitoring, adaptive cruise control. But if you was to use those sensors to do other things and have an SDK to unlock that, you can then create more of a, let's just say, an automotive of things linked to the internet and other services. We can use all the sensors in the vehicle to actually create a new innovation, which is done by software. And they're the things that we want to do. There's a number of other innovations that we've actually started to do by creating this, such as things like bike sense. So when we see pedestrians, we can actually warn the user by reusing a lot of those sensors in the car. Now, how will we unlock this? Well, we need our partners. We need to collaborate. We need those APIs, which some will get deprecated and some won't. And one thing I've learned is you cannot lock these into the vehicle, because if you do, a car's on the road for kind of 10 to 15 years, and just keep changing it isn't actually going to help any of us. But by using the cloud services and the connectivity, we can actually bridge the gap. We can actually see how the car's health is. We can connect to our customers, give personalized experience. So I have my favorite music for when I'm in the car, and when my wife uses the vehicle, she's got all her settings and configurations. Smarter cities are becoming more apparent. Wouldn't it be great as if I was driving to the traffic light and the car just tells me there's no point accelerating hard, because by the time you get to the traffic lights, it's going to be red. So the car can automatically cruise to a halt, saving and giving me more efficiency. We'll start crowdsourcing information where we'll be able to share our location. But if a car skids on the road, wouldn't it be great that the next vehicle actually can get that information too? Obviously, we've already been bringing wearables in, but also the home gateway. And this is where we see the Internet of Things allowing us to help mesh up a number of different providers and services to give that agnostic approach. We can't say to all our customers, you have to get a particular device or a particular hub. We actually need that open approach to allow all of us to work together and actually create some new experiences. By doing that, we've started to unlock a number of new opportunities, new challenges, or new partners by using a lot of the vehicle sensors. And what's interesting is by collaborating with the open world, we in the automotive industry had a fixed mindset on how we would do things. But actually working with people who don't work in the space, similar to some of the comments earlier, young people, non-automotive people, come up with new ideas that actually haven't been thought before. Or actually, old ideas are being rethought because new things have come along, such as internet connectivity, mobile devices, IoT platforms. And we've started to unlock this behavior by creating some of those pieces with some key partners. What we do have to do is make sure that we have our development pillars. We have to ask ourselves those key questions. Is the innovation unique? Is it actually going to give me something new? Is it going to give me something fun? Does it add a bit of wow factor? A lot of our customers like to talk about their vehicles, like to talk about how smart they can be. It's got to have some vehicle relevance. Because if it doesn't have relevance, we always like to challenge. Do you really need to do that while you're driving? Shouldn't you be keeping your eyes on the road? And then the other thing is we can add new value propositions for us and new value propositions for many of us around us. And actually, one of the things that we've started to do is think a little bit differently, have some fun. And actually, late last year, we actually had a hackathon where rather than coming up with one solution, the team actually came up with a platform approach, which now the team back in the UK are starting to put in production. And just to kind of share the fun that we like to have with our partners, there's another quick short video to give you a bit of a taste of that.
Creating a capability that we never had before.
5 teams, 48 hours.
Enable the team to unlock the great technology for in-control apps. We also want to bring different minds in to kind of push the boundaries
I think we're now moving into the next evolution.
and allowing people's smartphone world and consumer electronics world to come together.
Jaguar Land Rover Developer Challenge 2015.
So this weekend is all about collaboration.
Being a little bit disruptive to create something new and innovative in terms of technology that we don't normally do in our daily lives.
Concept through to creation and then eventual delivery of it.
The brief is pretty open.
Probably going to be very challenging.
Are we confident? Yes, we are.
We've given them the context to go and be crazy. We've given them the tools and the data points to come together and using their brains create something that hopefully will be interesting, exciting, and most importantly, innovative.
What have we come up with? We try to think to go one step to the left, contributes to a better real-world solution.
We're really pleased with what we've created, allowing you to unlock the potential of your car.
The winner. Plaything.
The winner we gave to Plaything because I think what they came up with was something that could really create a very on-brand platform that we could extend. Given the time that they've had, I think it's what they've done is amazing.
So one thing for us, just to quickly summarize, is we like to have a bit of fun. We want to be innovative, but we want to be collaborative at the same time to bring some new innovations. Our company's gone through some huge changes, which have been absolutely exciting. We're relatively a small company compared to some of the other automotive companies, but that's, in our eyes, a very good thing. We can actually create some differences, but at the same time have some fun driving our vehicles. Thank you very much.